All right, good morning, everyone. We're live. We got Lauren Elaine back and Joel Farrell. So, morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's see. So, hopefully, Joel can hang around with us today. He's kind of got coconut wireless going on today, so we'll see. But I was gonna kind of talk about this one video I saw recently by Ramit. I'll put the link to that video in the chat soon. But basically, it was a video that's talking about kind of 20 things that we waste money on, in a sense. Did you get a chance to watch it, Lauren?
Yeah, I did.
And what is your?
My
I know you.
internet
I know.
service wasn't working, so I couldn't watch it.
Good excuse, Joel. But Lauren, I know you. I think you mentioned on previous episodes that you're kind of a fan of Ramit, or you follow his content somewhat. But what was your take on the that video?
I mean, I thought it was great. I think there are a lot of things that are really relatable that we all have been like, yeah, I've spent money on that and then either didn't end up using it or I think they're just like universal things. Like one of them, he was saying like buying a car based on monthly payments. It's like it's so tempting to do that and to finance things and then fitness equipment that you don't end up using. Like their supplements. I was just like all of these things where I'm like, yeah, I've definitely done every single one of these.
Yeah, I felt like a personal attack on some of these to me. So Joel, I know you said you didn't get a chance to watch the video, but kind of what Lauren's mentioned so far, is there any ideas that you can kind of think of without even seeing the video, I guess, that maybe off the top of your head you could think that we waste money on in a sense in spending?
Well, you mentioned fitness stuff. I mean, the first thing I've got a treadmill that's sitting in my basement that's just literally taking up space, and then nobody wants to buy it. Nobody wants to spend the money or move it, so it's just sitting there. But
Hmm.
no, I mean, Starbucks for me has been a big thing. I mean, I would spend $7 sometimes twice a day on Starbucks, and along the
Hmm.
way, I did make a change. Um, and I cut Starbucks out completely.
So
So, but yeah,
interesting you say that.
Yeah.
So, because I think Lauren will probably bring it up too, but so Ramit is not big on cutting out those like minimal type spending or expenses. So he's like, I'm not gonna tell you not to cut out these things that you might enjoy or whatnot. So he's talking about like big ticket things that we just don't really pay attention to. So is that kind of where you were going, Lauren?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
well,
And
I mean, can
Yeah.
you?
We can I mean, I have the list here too. We can
Okay.
I can tell you some of the ones like that were um was like, "Oh, yeah, I do that and I don't even think about it." One of them that I was thinking was the extended warranty on electronics or appliances. And I was like, "I always get the extended warranty. Why? I've never once in my entire life used it."
I'm always torn on that one when it comes up. I usually decline it, but I'm always torn when it's presented to me. I'm like, am I being irresponsible if I don't sign up for this?
Yeah. Actually, I will say one time I did use it, and it was for my Apple AirPods that I bought at Best Buy, and I had had them for 2 years, and the warranty expired at 2 years. I brought them in the day before, and they gave me a new pair. So, that one
Nice.
time, it paid off, but that's it. That's the only time I've ever used it.
I mean,
Joe, we're
the
using, yeah.
phone warranty. I've dropped my phone so many times. So that paying the $200 or whatever it is, and then having the insurance, I've used that so many times.
Yeah, I've used the phone insurance as well.
Yeah, so I know Lauren, you kind of brought it up already, like the car payments, right? Like buying a car or vehicle based on payments, and that was something you've kind of faced recently too. I brought it up on a few lives um, back, but you were in that situation of looking for a new vehicle, and you want to touch on that? Did the payments come into play, or how did you decide on that?
Yeah, I mean, I it is always tempting when you go like, "Oh, it's only a few $100 a month, like I could afford that." But then when you actually look at what you're paying over the lifetime of the vehicle, um, it it doesn't add up, doesn't make sense it didn't make sense for me. Um, especially, I know this happens with like phones as well. Like when you buy a new phone and then you just make the payments, by the time the phone is outdated, you're still making payments on it. So it's like, yeah, it's not a very high monthly payment, but you end up paying it for a really long time to the point where you need to get a new phone, but you can't because you still have your old payment from the previous phone. So I feel like it's kind of the same way with cars. Like you have a car for a long time, and by the time you actually finish paying it off, it's usually when your car has stuff going wrong and you need to upgrade your car. So you get stuck in this cycle of just always having a payment rather than just buying a car that's a little bit less that you can afford and pay off more quickly.
What about you, Joel? Like, being a lender, you probably see a lot of people come in. Like, do a lot of people have like car payments when they give you their finances?
Yeah, I mean, I see so much in terms of both sides of the extremes. Like one example in a good way is I have a 21-year-old that has a couple of credit cards, no car payments, saving money, and paying rent to the rents to the parents, and then just a really good financial situation. And then on the flip side, I've seen people with 3 car payments, co-signed on their kids thing, like $1,000 payments, and they make good money, but I mean, they're spread so thin. But then that's the person who's really just taking care of the entire family, right? They're the person everyone looks up to and needs the extra help. And so, and there's every situation in between, obviously. But I do see a lot of people that have $800 payment, $900 payment, and then they have a personal loan through a SoFi or a Freedom, and then it's like, man, dude, money just gone out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so easy if you're not staying on top of things. Like, what even like if you're breaking things down by payments, it doesn't seem that much when you're buying it, right? Like, oh, it's only whatever, $500 a month or whatnot. But then you start adding all your payments up, and I think that's where a lot of the video starts going into. Also, is like subscriptions, right? Things that you're not even paying attention to after a while. So it's just funny that Joel and I were just talking about that right before we went live about what subscription we have for Restream, right? So there's so many subscriptions out there that we're paying for. So like, Lauren, have you ever checked? Is there subscriptions that you're paying for that maybe you don't even use anymore?
Yeah, so I started actually only doing subscriptions through my Apple ID because I found that you can go into your phone and look under subscriptions and see what you're paying for. Because if I before I was doing that, I would forget what I was paying for, and then I wouldn't know until I would like was doing my taxes or something. I'd be like, what is this? Like, I've been paying for this all year. One time I had Sirius XM. I didn't even have Sirius XM available in my car, and I had been paying for it for a year. I don't know how that happened, but it's like one of these subscriptions that I probably unknowingly signed up for. And I feel like that happens all the time. And when I added it up, it was like $500 that I had paid to a subscription that I had never used. So then I was like, okay, I'm only doing it through my Apple ID. And periodically I'll go through and look at my subscriptions and be like, okay, am I using these? And usually there's like 2 or 3 that I'm not.
Yeah, so I see some new people coming in from in the chat. So I just want to say we are watching, or we are breaking down a video by Ramit Sethi about a video on 20 things that we waste money on, in a sense. So he broke down some things like car payments, subscriptions that we don't know about, even online courses. So we can even dig into that. Is that something that you think is a waste of money that a lot of people are paying for or joining? So Joe, I know you're big on the social media side, promoting things. Do you think people are spending money on courses that are not necessary?
Yeah, I definitely do. And there's all kinds of different courses out there. Like there's a big thing out there right now on Twitter X that's, I made this much money with, promoting on social media by using this VO or some type of AI software to create videos. And then like you really dig into it and it's just them trying to sell their affiliate link for XYZ AI software. And, it's like, it's hard to really know what to believe out there. But I'm a big believer of, hey, if you want to try something, go get as much information you can soak in from free resources like a YouTube or whatever online. Do it. And then when you hit a hurdle or a wall, and then you need the extra support to figure out how to make it happen, then maybe go spend some money on a coach or a platform. But yeah, there's a lot of money that gets thrown around on courses for sure.
Yeah, I feel like in today's day and age, a course is usually unnecessary because there's so much information for free with YouTube. Like you could probably find an introduction to whatever it is that you want to learn for free on YouTube. And then if you get through all of that and you find that you still want more and you think there's some sort of advanced course that would help you, then I feel like it is justified in spending money. But we're all like, I know we all do this where we will buy something and then never follow through with it. So I feel like if you set up like a barrier for yourself, like, okay, if I follow through with learning the free course, then I can upgrade and do the one that's paid. Like just knowing ourselves in that way, because I know I've certainly done it. He also does say, Mark, conferences in that, not just courses, conferences.
I saw that. So as you bring that up, I want to remind everyone to get their tickets for the One Rent at a Time event in Vegas in February, which is not a conference; it's more of a family reunion, I would say. But
Yes.
No, definitely on that point, right? I mean, I think some people. Well, so I'll put it this way, though. I think a lot of it comes down to how much action you're going to take, right? So you can go to all these conferences and sign up for all these courses or pay for them and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my skibbity dibbity Wi-Fi.
Make like you're taking. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like, are you taking these things just to feel like you're busy, right? So it's, are you putting this into action? I think that's what's great about the event in February is a lot of people are going there just for the connections and kind of seeing what everyone is doing and building those relationships. Lauren, was there anything? There's a few that I really just kind of, I don't know if it drives me crazy or whatnot, but is there a few of those that were on the list that you want to talk about a little bit more?
One of them that I was like, yes, which is treating your primary residence as an investment. I feel like this is like maybe a little bit of a controversial one because on one hand, your primary residence, as we've seen like in boomers, can be an investment. Like when I look at my parents bought a house for $90,000 and then when they retired, they sold it for $1 million. I'm like, that's an investment. But that there's also a lot of people that will buy a primary residence and it is beyond their means and they're like, but it's an investment, and they continue putting money into it, and they're calling it an investment, but they're not treating it like an investment. So I feel like the primary residence one is a little bit of a tricky topic.
Joel, you want to touch on that before I get into some of the comments in the chat about your primary home being an investment?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the lens, right? I mean, owning a home is like a fixed savings account, right? You're forced to pay into your own equity, and you can't panic sell a house, right? Or you can if you're day trading. So if you're looking at it from hey, I need help to be able to build wealth, passively, not even thinking about it, like Lauren said, 10, 20, 30 years, right? You're going to have equity built up. And I think a lot of it's skewed too with COVID, 2020, 21, rates were so low, values went up 30, 40, 50% in, 5-6 years. So I think it skews the rate of appreciation from what historically has happened, that 3 and 4% appreciation per year. But I look at it from both lenses, right? You've got your active investor where, hey, I keep talking about the stair step method. Hey, if I'm 25, 35, whatever it is, I'm going to buy a house, live there with the intention of turning it into a rental after I buy the next one and then turn it into a full-time rental. So in that sense, it can be a stepping stone. That's more of the aggressive or active lens, whereas Lauren's talking about, hey, my parents lived there for 30 years. It's this passive investment that builds wealth and equity over 10, 20, 30 years. because the dollar's just being devalued. I mean, there's so many statistics out there from 1970 when we got off of the gold standard, and obviously from the inception of the Federal Reserve in 1913, the dollar gets devalued every single year. So it's a hedge against inflation. So from that respect, I think it's an option, not the option, but it is an option from an investment standpoint. So I look at it as a coin with two sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I always kind of touch on, I think it's more of a lifestyle investment, right? I mean, sometimes people want to live in a certain area, or their job is in that area, so that's why they're buying a home in this certain area. But I think the problem, no, I don't know if it's a problem, but just the way some people look at it, and Lauren touched on it, is you're looking at it from the lens of our boomer parents, or our older parents who just sat on it for 30 years, and yeah, they became a millionaire. But nowadays people want to be more mobile, and I think part of it is also people start putting more money into their home, and I think Remy touched on it, like renovations, right? They start watching HGTV and start putting money to upgrade the home because they think it's going to bring value and whatnot. So it's somehow, we're throwing all this money into this home where we could be investing in other assets also at the same time to be building our wealth. And I think that's just like you're saying, it's the lens that we're looking at it through. But I definitely think it's a safety net in some ways, right? I mean, for a lot of people, I think it comes down to you can not buy a home, and like people say, you can save money by renting and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you still have to use that arbitrage of money that you're saving and throwing it into assets. And a lot of people, that's the problem, right? They're saving money by renting, but then they're not buying other investment assets, and that's the problem, right? For me, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, especially there's like certain places too where I do feel like a home is an investment, Hawaii being one of them. But also like where I'm at now in Sun Valley, if I feel like the cost in these like smaller vacation towns, sometimes the rent can get so absorbent that if you didn't buy a house, you can no longer afford the rent. And so if you're able to buy a house in a place that is a big vacation area, then it can be an investment because you are actually capping your mortgage payment in a way that won't happen if you're just a renter. You might be, subject to a 30% increase in your rent, which I saw happen to a lot of people in Hawaii and then a lot of people here in Sun Valley.
I just want to say good morning to some people tuning in. We got some of the regulars from the school community. We got Flavio. We got JC. I see JSIC tuning in. We also got some new people here. I think it's Linux 3K. It says save money, have a savings account. I guess he's saying like for courses and stuff, he's touching on if it helps you get a job, you can see the importance there. But yeah, Stan also is tuning in. He says Stan is traveling somewhere. I'm seeing him posting all these travel.
Yeah, he's like in Australia or God knows where.
But he says, yes, streaming subscriptions have built up over time. Netflix, Disney, HBO, yes, YouTube TV, yes, Peacock. Yeah, there's a ton of subscriptions out there, and yeah, absolutely, it's hard to keep track after a while. But the one for me, I think, is like credit card points and games, or if what people want to call it, doing the credit card game and whatnot, and that just kind of it seems like so much. Maybe it's easier than I think, but it seems like a lot of work. Then you gotta figure out which card to use for this and which card to use for that purchase, and then you have and it's just like, for me, it's like I'd rather figure out a way to increase my income or something to get another asset and just pay for whatever benefits I may be getting from this credit card games I'm playing. I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, I have a few 100,000 in credit card points, and I've never once used it. And I fly all the time. Like, I should be using it to book flights, but I just am like, every time I go to do it, I'm like, oh, I should probably look out the best way to use it and get the most out of it. And then I like am in the portal and you got to transfer the points and it's a whole thing. And I'm just like, for this one flight, I'll just book it myself. And then I do that every time. What is that? Fidelity?
Yeah. So I have 3 of these credit cards, and you get 2% rewards, and it just flows into a brokerage account, and then I just buy SPY.
Okay, love that. I feel like that's great. I would actually, I feel like do. It's the airline.
Yeah, that's different though, because it's going. I'm talking about the people that are like, I'm gonna buy this.
I agree with. I'm just saying, like, instead of doing all that BS and like get all the bonus points by setting up for this thing and the free 50,000, and I want simplicity. I just take these cards and all the expenses I have, I put them on the credit card and then pay it off.
And then it just does it automatically. It goes into your brokerage account, and then you invest it into
billing cycle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can choose whatever. I mean, it's just a regular brokerage account, so you can have it sit in cash. You can buy whatever stock or ETF or whatever MicroStrategies for Nick out there who's probably maybe watching.
I think that's one going through the list, and hopefully I put the link to the video in the chat so other people hopefully can watch it later. But I think one thing I kind of noticed or picked up on, it seems like simplicity is kind of the key thing for a lot of them, right? So I think a lot of times we make things a lot more confusing or more difficult than they need to be because it's supposed to be the next big thing or the flashy way to start investing or whatnot. So like even we always have this kind of in our group chats going back and forth. There's always that one person that has like the Android phone, right, in the group text message, and then it makes it difficult to send photos or whatever, right? But I think that's why Apple does so well, right? It's kind of the ease of use, and it's how their whole ecosystem. Because I admit that the Android phones are better phones. They have a lot more features. It's just the Apple simplicity is where they kind of win you over and make things a lot easier. And I think from that standpoint, that's for a lot of these 20 things. It's sometimes we're making things harder than it has to be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Joe V, simplicity is the way to go. Like a firefighter. Yep, just put the wet stuff on the red stuff.
Do you guys know who Chase Hughes is?
No.
He's like a not FBI guy, but he's a CIA or some type of analyzer, like profiler or whatnot. And then there's Vanessa Van Edwards. You know who that is? She talks about like 19 ways to be charismatic or 19 ways to be confident, and you have all this like checklists, and she's written books and whatever. And he talks about simplicity in the sense that like, okay, you have this 19 checklist of things to be confident, but it's like all these things are just micro things that can show confidence, but if you work on these 5 core things that become your identity, I think he lists like your habits and your household, your financial habits, your relationships, and a couple more. If you just do a little bit every single day on these 5 core internal things, then that frequency will, show to the world confidence in its own way, rather than micromanaging 19 different things. And just like that, to me, just is simplicity. You focus on simplicity, and the rest of it takes care of itself.
Yeah.
Flavio says his big expense right now is his kids.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's why Lauren doesn't have any and is traveling all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I guess is Joby talking to me about twins?
Yeah. So Rick Freeman is also tuning in from the school community, but he got twins, and Joel, and so Joel Farrell on here also has twins, right? So
I didn't know you have twins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just turned 6 and they're in kindergarten.
Oh my gosh!
And would you agree with the cost of kids, Joel?
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That is true. Yeah. So there's a lot of people with twins. There's Joel V.
Whoa.
Freeman. Yeah. But yeah, I think definitely kids is yeah, it's one like you said, it's a trade. I almost can see how it's the same as the buying a house, right? There's other reasons and benefits for it, right? That you're not gonna regret doing it. It's just I think sometimes people look at a home though as an investment when and there's probably other better ways to invest. It's just um, that's the one thing I would say about buying a home as a for your primary residence as an investment. And I think Stan touched on or mentioned it earlier. His criticism of the way Ramit looks at it using a lot of his videos is he doesn't calculate rent versus ownership and profit and investing the difference over a decade without considering rent will continue to go up while mortgage is more set.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, let's see. What else? Was there any other one, Lauren?
Well,
On there? Oh,
there's one thing you kind of dismissed my Starbucks thing. I'm a little perturbed about that
don't
because
dismiss it.
I,
If you
I
watch the video, like I gave you ahead of time, then
but
we.
you said it's not a big ticket item.
Well, I don't know, Lauren. You have anything to
Well,
say? Right.
yeah, he says that there's like some small habits that like kind of like what you were saying, Joel, about like if you focus on the five things, it'll make more of a difference. So he's like, there are certain things that we pay a lot more into, like subscriptions can equal a lot more than just like focusing on your one Starbucks. Like if you, he's like, basically his philosophy is I'm not trying to take away all the joy in your life. If that one thing is like your one thing that gives you joy, but also if you're eating out every single meal and you're buying Starbucks and you're spending, he also, some of the things he talked about was like self-care spending, like spending in ways that you're like, this is self-care, I'm treating myself, but it's really just kind of excessive spending. So I feel like Starbucks could fall under that category. And so he talks about it from like both perspectives, where he's like, I'm not trying to take away your Starbucks, but also don't be doing frivolous spending, which Starbucks could be considered frivolous spending.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a onesie twosie here and there, I mean, I think that's one thing. But I'm like I was saying before, I know somebody personally who would get Starbucks twice a day, every day of the week, and like you do the math on that, that's $7 a day. It's like $400 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a car payment right there.
Yeah.
So I'm not here to bash Starbucks. I'm just saying that it is something that can add up. And I know personally, like I mentioned, I love Starbucks. I get the same thing every single time, and I love it. And then throughout my own personal journey, from I have ADHD. I've been working on certain things. Well, I came across something called Neuromints, and it's got green tea, caffeine, but also L-theanine, which is helpful for people who have low dopamine. And that's like I spend like $30 a month on it, and inherently I don't crave coffee or Starbucks at all anymore. So just by a byproduct of trying something new, no Starbucks. Okay, cool. I'm not even drinking coffee. So for me, I can see the desire and want for a Starbucks and to do it all the time, and then the ability to cut it just because. So just
Yeah.
a little thing. And like that same person I'm talking about, their household, they had two cars, and then through COVID and life changes, they cut a car out. They didn't need two cars, and that they cut out a car payment and insurance, and just boom, that was a big ticket item that they were able to cut.
Mm-hmm.
So just another example.
Was that the Neural Mints? That's not the one that was on Shark Tank, was it? That
It
was
is.
what it was.
That's the video that I was like, oh, I wonder what that is. So that video I saw somewhere on social media, and that made me research it, and then I ended up purchasing it.
Yeah, I think Joe Rogan promotes or not he promotes it, right? But he uses that also. But
They're like
Joe,
little mints that you eat.
There's gum,
there's
and then there's
Oh.
mints that you can like you suck on or chew on. And there's another thing from a ADHD standpoint. I'm sure we all know who Gary Breck is, and he talks about methylated vitamins and certain gene mutations. MTHFR is one where a lot of people can't digest. I think maybe it's folate or folic acid. I forget what it is, but anyway. So I started taking methylated vitamins, including my kids, and I've noticed a massive difference.
Yeah,
So
I
just
feel
little bitty things.
there's some. I'm like supplements are one for me where I like taking a few health supplements, and there's like one particular brand that I really like and trust, and like I know it's a small family company, and I know the way that they make their supplements. But I actually take them versus I know in the past there have been other brands or things that I've purchased where I'm like buying supplements and then you like take it a few times and you kind of like fall off and it just sits in the cupboard. So I feel like it also is like you have to know yourself, and if you find that you're not using it and it's just being wasted, then you have to reevaluate. But if it's something that is like for your health that's actually helping and working and you're following through, then it's like a great investment long term. So it's really comes down to like self awareness in the end.
Yeah.
So Joe V says Starbucks is crazy price for no reason. It's not even good coffee. Rick
True.
Freeman says he agrees, although better than Dunkin' Donuts in my opinion. Troy is stopping by. Troy said he is trying mud water right now. I think I saw some ads for that. I forget.
I do mud water sometimes too. I really like it.
How long have you been doing it?
What is that exactly?
It's like a powder, but it's like a low caffeine, but it has like turmeric, all sorts of other stuff in it. So it has like mushrooms and adaptogens and stuff. And I don't drink coffee, so I got off coffee by using mud water.
I use that AG1. Hey, Charles McCune is here. He says, I try to get paid to do the things that I'm going to do anyway. Troy says, I'm a 2 16-ounce coffee a day drinker. And for those of you that are just tuning in, we're talking about a video that Ramit has put out on YouTube. So the link to his video is in the chat. So if you want to go check it out for yourself and see if there's things that you agree, disagree with, but you can always leave it in the comments after the live and put it in the comments there and say what things you may not agree with. Rick Freeman says, I skipped the coffee and I just go energy drinks, 25 calories each. Yes, yeah.
I know a lot of people who do that.
Yeah.
Celsius.
Yeah.
My brother is addicted to Celsius.
I didn't even know you had a brother. That's the first time you may have mentioned that.
Really?
I don't know. Joe, did you know she had a brother?
No.
See?
I don't know if you guys have siblings either. I guess we don't really talk about.
I have an older brother. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't know that. Joel, do you have siblings?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a middle child. So I've got an older brother, a younger sister, and then a younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
Stan says,
you want to hear something funny?
Of course.
So speaking of a younger brother, so my kids are 6, and we go to grandpa's house to do a sleepover. We're hanging out. Grandpa, can I go in the basement? Well, your grandpa's got all of his band equipment down there. I guess you can go down there. Just don't break anything. And they go down there and they are messing around. I walk down there and they have a scream mask in their hand. Daddy, what is this? This is scary. And my mom goes, well, that's a scream mask. And she started to tell a story, and then it's like, okay, I'm not going to tell a story. It's a bad idea. But that mask is what I use to scare my younger brother, who's 9 years younger than me, Jack. Jack, if you're listening, I'm sorry, bro. But when he was like 4 or 5, we would get the scream mask out and scare him. And if he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing, we're going to get the scream mask out. And he would just scream in terror. So the scream mask lives on.
Ugh. I hated those scream masks. My brothers would do that to me too.
Wait, brothers?
Yeah, I have multiple brothers.
Oh,
I wish I could trade them for sisters, but
where do you line up?
I'm the youngest. Yeah, the princess of the family. The crown jewel.
Or the mistake or the no.
Well, yeah, you could look at it that there was a bit of an age gap too. Like I'm 4 years younger. So
Uh, Stan says I likely go to some local cafes when I'm home. Yeah, but you're never home. You're always traveling. You get coffee more often than I should. Troy says, yeah, I'm debating getting off of coffee as well. Jovi says I drink at least a pot of coffee a day. Then Troy says energy drinks are bad. There are a lot of chemicals in them. Gonna pay the price later in life. And hi, Pritam, I believe. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but thanks for stopping by. I've never seen you here before. But who are you? Well, we are talking about a video that Ramit Sethi put out about 20 things that we waste money on. And we're just discussing some of the ones we agree with, disagree with, and maybe some of our own that we know that we waste money on. And that's what I was going to get into next, that I didn't see on the things that he talked about. But for me, is one that might be kind of, I don't know. I think pets are a waste of money.
oh,
That is my. I think there's a point in it or a time in life that maybe it makes sense, but I think for a lot of people, pets are a distraction, waste of money. It. Yeah, I don't know. That's my short take on it. If you guys have any thoughts on it.
yeah, I completely agree. I had a dog for 14 years. I was very young when I got the dog. And luckily, she became elderly as I was older and I could like afford her vet bills. But vet bills are crazy. And I have one my farm manager, she has a dog. The amount of money she has spent on this dog is insane. She has gone into debt for this dog. The dog has had multiple surgeries. It had a foot thing it needed, and then it had a heart thing, and then it needed to be on a special diet. So then she had to buy the more expensive food and the medications. It was just on. And I think she's probably spent $30,000 to $40,000 on this dog over its lifetime. And so, yeah, I think pets are surprisingly expensive. When you get it, you think, oh, it's cute and young and healthy, but things do come up. They eat weird things, and then you have to take them to the vet emergency room, and you're like, oh, shoot, a few $1,000s. So, yeah, I think pets are a waste of money. And I love pets, but I don't think people go into it expecting to pay as much as they probably will.
Joe, any thoughts? Do you have pets?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up without any pets. As a sports household, all the travel and practice and games, we were never around, so that really wasn't part of our lifestyle. But having kids and then having dogs in the household, I think it can be a good thing. Obviously, it's expensive. We had a rescue, got him when he was like 2, like a lab mix, and that motherfucker. I mean, we had to take him to the vet so many times. He would eat tampons and eat socks and eat underwear, and like $2,000 later 3 or 4 times. And like one of the times he got slashed in the face by this little bitty dog, and he gets stitches. And then it happened again. Like just the dog just was a magnet to the vet.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. The kids remember it, and like.
Well, is the dog gone? You're talking about him
Well,
like
there's 2. They're okay. So the lab is 13 now, still alive, and then there was a pug that was involved, and she died a couple of years ago, and they, I guess she died when they were 3 or 4, and they still talk about her and they miss her. They miss the dog.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's great when you have kids for them to have a pet and have responsibilities and all of that, but also get a cat. Like I feel like they're somehow more hardy than dogs. Dogs are constantly eating things or getting scratched in the face or stung for putting their nose in places versus like I feel like cats are just a little bit easier and usually cost less. Just get a really friendly cat.
Yeah, and I think part of it also goes to like if you have a dog, you gotta get it outside to go play with and walking and whatnot. And yeah, cats are a lot easier and they kind of just do their own stuff. So that I would agree with that. But in general, I think cats. I mean, pets in general are kind of especially like like Joe talks about it quite a bit too. His thing is strive for 25 and increasing your income, side hustles, right? And when you have to take care of your general everyday family life, if you have kids and then now on top of that you have a pet that you also have to make sure they're exercising, feeding, and when you go travel, right? If you travel, you got to make arrangements to take care of the pet and whatnot, right?
$120 a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't have pets because I like to travel.
Pets and kids,
and kids. But even if I had kids, I don't think I would get a pet because I still want to travel.
Is Lauren gonna have kids or a pet first?
Neither. No, I feel like kids I would have before I would have a pet first. Pets.
Man, my channel's dropping dimes over here.
Yeah.
I know. What is this guy's hostility against firefighters? Leheezy. Yeah.
Leheezy, making it easy.
Interesting. Yeah. Let's see.
It's all your Twitter friends coming over to YouTube.
Yeah, I know. Get a friend. Yeah, they can look after the pets. Yeah. I don't want to burden my friends with responsibilities like that.
No, same.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like leaving my stuff on other people's.
You said no man will ever breed with you.
Let's see here. And of course, it comes from Joel's channel. But hey, Nicole Weekles, my hubby and I decided we need to have a rental specifically for Halloween decorations. That's another. Yeah, I didn't see Ramit mention that in his video. Like holiday type of things, right? Like spending money for Christmas or buying, presents and gifts and all these, like, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day. So going back to the one rental at a time event, which is in February, it falls on Valentine's Day weekend, right? So.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So Saturday is Valentine's Day. So I think that's. Are you occupied? Are you busy, Lauren?
I have a trip that weekend.
I thought you were saying we were going to have a bunch of dates lined up or something. But,
well, I might.
But yeah, so I think that's to that point Nicole mentioned, right? I think there's just so many consumerism, right? There's so many times that we're spending money on things out there, and Halloween is definitely one of them. Joe, do you spend a lot on Halloween decorations or Christmas decorate? What about you?
Yeah, I mean, ish, not a huge amount of money, enough to get by with the bare minimum, really.
Yeah, I feel like if you save them, store them, reuse them.
Yeah.
When you have kids, I feel like you kind of have to like decorate for the holidays.
You do. Yeah.
Well, that's why you just go walk around the neighborhood where they decorated all the other houses. But kids, let's see. Hey, Andy's here. And so talking about he's not wasting money, but he just had a tractor expense come up, right? So he was planning to go to Pittsburgh to meet up with some of the people that are there, having a meetup for some of the people investing over there. And now he has this unexpected expense for one of his tractors, and now he has to kind of decide, is he still going to go to Pittsburgh in a sense, right? So, there's always expenses coming up. So the more things we have too, right, the more expenses we're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole says you have to add decor each year. We also have 4 kids.
So, hey, Lauren, with your travels, right? And there's people that have travel pages on Instagram or whatever, and then they make money selling templates or blueprints, and I don't really know what they do to make money, but
Mhm.
with all your traveling, could you turn that into like an income stream and then like just buy more property or more Bitcoin and like turn that into like a mini series? I'd watch some. I'd get a service.
I feel
I'd pay
like
for the service.
people who make good travel content, that's how you can make money via traveling. But I don't think those like itinerary template things, I don't think that's that profitable because everything's online for free. I've never purchased one of those before.
Hmm.
So I don't know if those really make money.
So how could you make money travel with your traveling?
I feel like YouTube travel content on YouTube would be more profitable. Just, by utilizing YouTube and providing good value. Because that is the content that I consume when I'm going to a new place. I'll look up YouTube videos and
Okay.
try and see where people
So
have been.
when's your next trip?
I don't have anything big planned. Oh, I am going to Mexico City in November. I forgot about that. Mexico City, and yeah, I'm doing Mexico a couple times this
Okay.
year.
Okay.
Joe, you have some strange people coming in from your channel. You have to get a moderator on your side.
I don't know
But
how do I do that?
but the Easy or whatever your name is coming from Joel's channel. Thanks for helping with the algorithm. You're an interesting person. But Troy asked, what streaming service will you not part ways with if you can only have one? Ooh.
Hmm.
Hmm. I, huh. What? I guess I don't know if it's cause I don't know if it's a streaming service, but I would say YouTube. YouTube. What is it? Premium or the one that doesn't have the ads in it, and or you can watch it you turn the phone, not turn the phone off, but you don't have to have it on to be listening to it. I would. That's one that's for convenience for me.
Hmm. I don't have that one. I feel like honestly, I could do without any one of them because they're never good all the time. That's how they get you. Because you're like, oh, there's that one thing I want to watch, and then you get it, and then you watch it, and then you want to watch something else, and there's nothing else good to watch, so you got to go to a different one. That's how they keep you in rotation.
So Joe, with your kids, which service would you be able to keep, or would you keep, or you
I
only
mean,
could have one?
between households, we've got Disney, Netflix, Paramount. So there's three, and then we also have a Roku, which I think has its own set of stuff to watch. So yeah, but then speaking of YouTube, the algorithm, the swiping, YouTube is just not an option for us. We don't. I don't want them to do YouTube. Period.
Hmm.
Unless it's like on my phone. They're gonna like. There's a thing called LearnBright, and they have all kinds of science and educational videos. I let them watch that on my phone while I'm around. But YouTube is the algorithm, man. Yeah, there was a study or some type of content talking about letting your kids watch cartoons from like the early '90s. Like it was so boring that the kids didn't have that like entrapment. Where like now all the Pokemon, not Cocomelon, like all the lights and all the stuff, it just all the algorithms for all the content for kids these days. That's all meant to just keep them entranced and to keep them. I don't know. It's like the old school cartoons.
Um, yeah, Joe V says, I have a boat, 3 kids, one in competitive dance, and 2 in hockey. He's broke. Jen, okay, Jen says, I only started buying holiday decorations after having kids. It's a waste, but the kids like it. Yeah. So, Jen, on that point, then, so you know that you have to waste money on certain things like decorations. is Backstreet Boys or concert tickets or entertainment like that a waste of money? So Laura and Jen just went to the Backstreet Boys recently, and they're actually performing in Vegas that weekend for the ORAD event. That weekend, that were
Oh,
so.
that might get me to go. I might cancel all my plans and go to that.
Oh, see, Jen's looking for people to join her.
She also said with the junk mail I get, I have to add space to my Gmail. I just got that notification. I was like, what is this nonsense? I have to add space because of all the junk mail. I wish they would just go in and delete all of that.
Yeah. I never had that. Joe, you had that issue with Gmail? Do you use Gmail?
I think I pay for extra storage on Google because I use Google to back up my Apple photos.
Okay.
So I pay for Google for something.
Yeah. See, unknown subscription you have. Let's see. Troy asked, "Do you have Prime?" I do have Prime, but yeah, I like how because I go to Whole Foods too, so it kind of all connects to each other.
Mark,
yes.
Sorry. Are you a fantasy football? You are a fantasy football person, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at it too.
Are you?
Nah. Why? Why do you bring that up? We just had our draft.
Yeah, I just that is something from a time. Obviously, it's fun. You keep in touch with your friends, but then there's people that have like 3 and 4. Mark's got like 12 leagues that he's in.
Well, a lot of people invite me. That's why.
But to sit on your couch, because I was this person, sit on your couch for 9 hours on a Sunday and watch the games.
I don't watch the game. I just play to play,
Sure.
and yeah, I don't. Yeah.
But that's
I
like
see
a
your
subscription of time. Like,
yeah,
you spend, and once the Rams left St. Louis in 2015, I stopped watching football. Period, and I got so much time back. It was amazing.
No, yeah, absolutely. I agree to that point. I mean, I definitely don't follow them like I used to. So like I play just to play, like you're saying, more for the keeping connection with people and whatnot. But as far as I don't know when's the last time I probably watched an entire football game. So for me, yeah. So yeah, that's the important thing, right? If you're gonna do these things, try to minimize how much time, like you said, you're gonna sit on the couch and watch a game or something.
Yeah, but Mark, I mean, just to give you a real example, right? I mean, you're working, you're running your own YouTube channel, you're monetized, like you're putting a lot of time and work into this other thing that's obviously paying off and will pay off dividends massively in a year or 5, right? You're putting time into something else, right, in your free time. Whereas if somebody doesn't have that other thing that they're working on like that, then it's easy to sit on the couch and watch whatever it is, Netflix for 12 hours or a show or sports or whatever. That's one of the reasons why I talk about income streams, right? You know, if you just cut things, like that's not a good thing. You got to add something at the same time.
Well, I think at the end of the day, it really just comes down to kind of balance, right? And that's also why I think, to Ramit's point, it's you don't want to get rid of all the things that you may enjoy. So if you can address the big ticket things, those will have more impact, right? So like, like you're saying, you can get rid of this car payment or whatnot, or even like, what did he talk like buying the truck that you may not need because your excuse is you need it to haul your camper, or you need it to haul things like once a year, right? So I think a lot of people may use that excuse. They need a truck for this purpose. Oh, block deconstructing dream. He hates Crocs. That's why.
No, out here spitting facts.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on.
Speaking of Crocs,
what about it? You kind of went in and out. What about it?
Well, I saw some video talking about Crocs in the heat. The rubber chemicals heat up and then send chemicals to your kids or your feet, which have membranes and receptors to soak up stuff. So Crocs can also be.
And your feet get sweaty in them.
Yeah.
So it's a nice little sweat chemical soup in there, splishing around in your Crocs.
You two would not be allowed back on here again.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, does anyone Does anyone still pay for a phone line for their house? Ah,
No, but I feel like if I had kids, I would.
really?
Yeah, I feel like it'd be like you can use the home phone. You don't get a cell phone. Use the
Joe,
landline.
what about you?
Yeah, we don't have a home
Yeah, no
a
land.
landline. No.
Yeah. Jen says Backstreet Boys is never a waste. She said the tickets were expensive though for Vegas. Not well. It's a little bit pricier, I think, for the Vegas one than the one she just went to.
Mm.
Um, Troy says football season is the worst now because you have to pay a fortune to watch games. Yeah, that's very true. They're all figured out a way to make money, and yet people are. So that's another thing, right? People are willing to put money on, bet on games and whatnot, and not be willing to even put money in investment accounts or invest in some stocks or learn about that, right? I see a lot of people spend way more time knowing about their players they're going to draft than what's the next investment to possibly invest in. I think that's where part of the problems are, right, or struggles.
Hmm.
Hey, Chris is tuning in from Lynchburg. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
one of my guilty vices is that I'm a big NBA fan, big Warriors fan, and I don't have cable, so I don't carry alcohol in my household. So if I want to go watch a game, I will go to a bar and watch the game, maybe grab a drink, and then go force myself to be around people. I have some friends that we meet up and watch games. So that's one of my vices, which forces me to go spend money to do that. So it's a
Hmm.
intentional thing, sort of though.
yeah. Troy said I multitask when I watch a game. Pretty much only watch one per week. I would do bookkeeping, work on a spreadsheet goal, or weekly planning. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You got to just, I mean, like you said, you don't want to cut everything out in life, right? Or a lot of things that you might have enjoyment, but if you can multitask, then even better, right? And John is, yep, he said he's making fun that the chemical cocktail might be why my shoulder is messed up. Yeah, so I'm still out. I just saw the therapist the other day too. It might be another 6 months and I'm out. So we'll
Whoa.
see. Yeah. Stan says going to a football game in general is expensive. The cheapest tickets I saw for the Super Bowl when it was in New Orleans this year was $4,500. Damn, man, that's crazy. Um, but I think that's part of it too. What Ramit's trying to tell you is, or a lot of people, like even Zuber talks about, you got to sacrifice in the beginning, right? Dion talks about it, sacrificing, and then at some point, hopefully, all these things don't even matter anymore, right? Like you've generated enough income or have enough income coming in every month where you can pretty much do anything you want, just maybe not everything, right? But then you don't really pay attention to these type of things as much. But it's this constant like doing a lot of these things is just holding you back from reaching that point to where you can totally be financially free, right? Yes, I know, John. I know you stopped watching football because of the kneeling stuff, and I think that did turn a lot of people away from football. Um, and oh, see, Chris Webb has turned it into a way to make money. He buying Super Bowl tickets early and selling them late is like trading. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else you guys want to touch about as far as the video, Lauren, that you saw that you want to bring up? Like, I said pets, that it wasn't on. He didn't mention that. Was there something you thought of after that? You thought was something that.
Um, Not really. I mean, pets is a good one. Um,
What about he mentioned mattress, like sleeping is a like
oh,
specialized mattress. Is that something you spend money on, or do you think that's worth spending money on?
I just had this conversation actually yesterday with somebody. They were saying how they were going to get one of those purple mattresses, and they were saying how much they were going to spend on a mattress, and I was like, that's crazy. That seems insane to me. Like all of a sudden, we all need these like high end mattresses. Yeah, I think that that's a total waste of money.
What about you, Joel? Joe, you got some wild fans on your channel, man.
I canceled them that wild on.
Would you spend what, a couple thousand on a mattress? Probably 3,000, 5,000.
Mm,
I know Nick
no,
tuning in would buy
no,
Bitcoin.
no. I mean, probably not more than 1,000.
Nick would dump everything into Bitcoin, kind of get him back on. No, so Nick sold real estate to go all in on Bitcoin. But not that he doesn't like real estate. He likes real estate. It's just he saw an opportunity and he felt like Bitcoin was the next asset class, and he liquidated some of his real estate to go all in on
Yeah,
Bitcoin, and
yeah,
has done well for himself.
yeah. Did you guys see my video from yesterday talking about a doctor?
I saw part of
And
it. Yes.
yeah, I mean, I've done this strategy personally: cost segregation, bonus depreciation, etc., lowering your taxable income, and then I had a doctor who's single, just buying a house every single year. He's in the DC market, and we're looking at the next properties and look at his tax returns, and he used my recommendation for a CPA, somebody that I like, and then look at the tax returns, and it's like, oh, there you go, $240,000 of depreciation from his portfolio, all because of cost segregation. And so, like, I'm bringing it back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, it's a great thing long term, and 5-10 years it's going to be however many million dollars or whatever. But being able to reduce your taxable income, if you're a high income earner, Bitcoin's never going to be able to do that.
Nick, you can rebuttal that this weekend, or if Nick might be back on again.
Ooh, let's bring him on. Let's do
So
it.
Charles McCune says $250 purple pillow. Hey, Curtis is here. So Curtis is, like one of those. He just got his real estate license, and he's killing. He's hustling out there. I see him doing a lot of open houses and whatnot. So even that, Curtis, he's teaching. So like he says, third day of school. But Curtis, are you multitasking? So let's say I know maybe a couple of the open houses. Maybe people haven't stopped by. You're making videos, right? You're putting out social media stuff while you're there. So you're making use of that time to put out content. Troy says 100% buying a quality mattress is worth every penny, but you don't have to buy crazy expensive. Uh, Purple is market. They are great, but way overpriced. Uh, Joel, a full beard would suit you better. Rohan, AI
This is
automation.
a full beard. This is as long as it gets. This is like a week.
He'll look like Tim Allen from what was the one? Santa? What's the one he the one he aged like overnight or whatever?
Yeah, yeah.
Stan said NFL game ticket is the same cost as a safari in Africa. Watching the lions on chilling on the Serengeti was more peaceful than
Yeah.
watching. Whoa, whoa, whoa! All the bears. Now we're getting crazy. Somebody block Stan, please.
How much does a ticket to Africa cost? A plane ticket to Africa?
Lauren, do you know? Have you been to Africa, Lauren? I forget.
I have, yeah, South Africa. And I did a
Oh,
safari,
that's right.
and it was one of the coolest things I've ever done. Way cooler than an NFL game, I'll tell you that right now.
All right.
Have you been to an NFL game before?
No.
Really?
But I've seen one on TV, and I feel like they're not that interesting.
Okay.
I
What's
don't
the closest team to you, Miami or Jacksonville? No, where do you live? Are you Idaho or are you Florida?
I'm in
Where do you
Idaho
live?
at the moment.
But where do
But
you
I
actually
feel
like?
like
Where's home for you? Like, where do you live? Do you not have a home?
I don't have a
Do you
home,
need a home?
Joel. You know that. I'm homeless.
Okay.
I'm a rolling stone.
You should
I feel like
butterfly.
Any takers out there? Not your opportunity.
I mean, Miami's, yeah, I would say probably Miami, like Florida. But also, I feel like I maybe because I grew up in Coeur d'Alene, which is close to Seattle. I feel like there are a lot of in where I grew up. There were a lot of Green Bay Packer fans and Seattle Seahawk fans.
Okay, so what you can do is build up your travel channel to like 100,000 followers, and then all the football players in Green Bay and Miami are going to want to hang out with you.
Mm.
and then you'll get the view from behind the scenes in the locker room, and then you can like get the mic, and then you have your own little TV channel behind the scenes in the NFL games. Like this could be a whole thing.
I
Talking
love it.
about
I'm going to become a NFL connoisseur.
yeah, and then you'll become friends with oh shit, what's that one girl's name? Shit, I'm blanking on her name. Never mind.
So Stan said it was two-way ticket to Nairobi was around 900 from what I recall. Curtis says a college game is more fun than NFL. Troy says, "Come on, Lauren, it's Idaho home."
True. Idaho will always be home.
Stan says, "Lauren, gonna need your input on that South African safari. That will be my next safari in the next few years."
Oh my gosh. Yes. I will tell you. I went to, what was the one I went to called? It was called, I forget. Now I have to look it up. But don't do Kruger.
Has anybody ever died on an African safari? Any maulings out there?
I'm sure, probably. Yeah. I mean, they don't let you walk back from dinner like to your place by yourself because everything is open. So yeah, there could be some animals prowling around. I mean, there's a river right next to where I stayed, and I woke up in the morning and there were just like animals at the river. And if someone was dumb enough to like go down there, they probably would get mauled. I feel like I heard one person dying from like a hippo attack or something when I was there. So
Very interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I think that's the thing too, right? I mean, experiences, way more valuable than. I mean, sporting events are cool, check it
Yeah.
out, but definitely traveling and experience. Oh yes, put you folks on the spot. Lauren, Joel, Curtis is asking, will you both be in Vegas?
The only way I can be there is if I have a babysitter because all of my kids.
I hate that it's Valentine's Day weekend. I really wish they would have chosen an off weekend.
Well, Zuber is very structured, and it's the same weekend every year so far. So it just so happened Valentine's is on.
I mean, you can treat all three of your Valentines, on different days around the event.
Make them all fly to Vegas.
Yeah, and then they can all meet each other. It'd be like its own reality series.
Chris Webb says hippos are better than the bears. Whatever. You're a Patriots fan. You're a front runner.
I have a question for you guys. My 6-year-old's like big into science and wants to build his own safari in the house and have amphibians and a bearded dragon. He asked the question, how come there's no cheetahs as a sports mascot? Because they're the fastest. Why is there no team called the Cheetahs? You got the Wildcats, you got the Bears, you got the Lions, you got the Jaguars.
That's such a smart question. I have no idea what the answer is.
I don't know. I don't know, specifically how the team. I mean, I'm sure the teams pick somewhat, maybe.
Maybe because we don't have cheetahs here. Are they all animals that exist within?
I mean, we don't have lions here other than the zoo.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Well, go chat GPT it or something. And
I'm going to look it up because this is such a good question.
I'm sure my favorite friend will chat GPT it.
Well, I was gonna say something before we wrap things up.
Laheezy, where are you? We need you.
He's been blocked already. It looks like. But what the hell was I gonna say before we wrap things up?
It's ChatGPT says the cheetah is not a widely adopted team name because of its limited stamina, inability to fight effectively, and vulnerability to other predators.
I like Stan's answer better. He says cheetah sounds too close to cheaters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that'll be the Patriots. So that you can call it. Patriots could be the cheetahs. Troy said, I wonder if Zuber picks Valentine's Day, gets a better deal with. Could be. I mean, I know he picks it because Monday is a holiday because it's shoots. What is it? President's Day? I forget. I think it's President's Day. But I think that's why he picks that weekend.
Where's your son gonna be that weekend,
Oh.
Mark? With his mom?
Uh, Somewhere, not with me.
He has no idea.
He does that weekend. Yeah, see, me and Jen, we're on the same wavelength. He does that weekend because Monday is off. Yes, President's Day. They have time to travel back home. Troy says, "Hey, Lauren, if you were to save money up, what would you recommend on a place to travel to internationally for a week?" Ooh, great question.
Oh, I feel like it depends on which coast you're on. If you're on the West Coast, then I would go to Japan. If you're on the East Coast, maybe a week is a little bit short for Japan. Or maybe go like Central or South America. I think it just depends on
which country?
I think it depends on what gets you most excited, like what you like doing. Maybe like if you want to go skiing, if you want to go hiking, or if you like fishing, like whatever you like doing, choose the place that you can do something really cool. Or if you're like a restaurant person, maybe I'm excited to go to Mexico City because there's going to be so much food there. Yeah.
Look at Stan rubbing it in. Come on, bro. Keep it to a minimum.
Now we're gonna.
That's crazy. That's a lot of cheapness.
You gotta see, Lauren. You could start a travel channel. That might get a lot of followers. So Jen's asking, I want to know places on Lauren's bucket list to travel to.
You know, one obscure kind of place on my bucket list is Albania, which is like Croatia. What everybody is going to Croatia for, like a summertime in Croatia. I want to do like a Montenegro / Albania. It's really beautiful, incredible water, that European kind of culture and architecture, and then the mountains meet the sea there. That's one.
Yeah. Do you travel, Lauren? Do you just carry on, or do you?
I try to. Yeah.
That's what I realized after going to Japan. Like now, that's like my focus. Like I want to become travel minimalist and just be able to be like a carry on and yeah.
Yeah.
Flavio says, "Do you guys know how to change the voice of ChatGPT? It's too sexy and my wife gets jealous." Mediterranean or South Asia, Lauren?
Well, maybe you should go to Albania. It's kind of Mediterranean, or it is Mediterranean. And also South Asia. You really can't go wrong there. I do like Vietnam, maybe.
Chris Webb says he's in and out. Sorry, he's at his W-2. No, Chris, I just called the Patriots team should be the cheaters or the cheetahs. That would be fitting for them. But yeah, I don't know if you guys got anything else. We can wrap things up. This was a fun one. I think Ramit I don't agree with all his takes, but he definitely makes you think. Right, it's interesting. A lot of his videos, a lot of his takes. But I think the one thing I want to take away from it is you don't have to cut out everything that you may enjoy, but we just have to be kind of focus on the end result, right? So especially the bigger ticket things will have more impact, and that'll be my biggest takeaway from it. Joel, Lauren, any final words?
Nope.
Oh, Troy said, "Had friends said that Fabio was amazing." Have you been to Okinawa, Lauren?
No, I didn't go to Okinawa. I want to.
Yeah, that's where I want to go. They have a cool theme park now. I don't know, like a Jurassic or dinosaur thing. It's like super. Yeah, it's this new thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you go buy your Vegas tickets, both of you, so everyone can see you folks in person for the first time. I think. I don't think I met Lauren in person, but
yeah, I'm gonna work on creating a nice package for her 3 Valentines, and then I'll work on getting some babysitters for all the kids. Like, I'm gonna go to work.
Just bring the kids with you, man. Just bring the kids with you. Road trip.
I know, but I'll need help.
Lauren can help you. She can see if kids are in the future. That she can test run.
Trial run.
I'll put all my dates on it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. I'm gonna need to interview these guys and make sure they're fit for the job.
And,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you can go to Backstreet Boys concert, Lauren, also.
Perfect.
See? All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, like I said, you can go check out Remy's video and put your thoughts in the comment section after this video and see what you agree with, disagree with.
Oh, hey, I'm going live with Jeremy Taggart in
That's right.
a little bit.
I think they're going to
One
run
Eastern.
through some deals. So if you are free, go check out Joe's channel. You have your channel, Joe? I'll put it back.
Everyone's got one now. Don't worry about it.
All right. Yeah, go check out Joe's channel. And he's going live with Jeremy Taggart, Rockstar agent in Pittsburgh. They're going to walk through some deals and whatnot. And yeah, everyone have a great rest of the day. And I will be back on shoots. I don't know. I got to look. But thanks, everyone.
All right,
Bye.
see ya.